Hey guys, this is Aegis, and I've got a game here between our red Terran player, MGredground, versus VilePsy. So this is Psy StarCraft playing over here. Gonna be playing as the blue Zerg player, and this is Shakuras Plateau. This is one of my favorite maps. MGredground is telling Psy that he has a friend that wants to play against him. So this is Shakuras Plateau. It's been a very good map, especially for carrier rushing in the Diamond League. I don't know if that'll work in Masters. Of course, I've seen White do it before, so possibly it still is a viable strategy against Zerg, but of course no Protoss here. We do have a Terran versus Zerg here. MGredground is from Mobility Gaming, if I'm not mistaken. He is going to be producing a wall at the front. His supply depot is on the way, should be getting a barracks there in the near future, and they have gotten cross positions, so it will be very difficult to rush. No 2-raxing on the way, I assume. I'm not sure if that's the case. There's the first barracks on the way, and he should be getting a gas unless he's deciding to go for that second barracks really quickly. But if he does do that, that would be to help defend his expansion and not to put on massive amounts of aggression. Looks like we have the SCV moving out, and that's probably a scout SCV. He doesn't have enough money for anything. We do have VilePsy throwing up his natural expansion. He has the hatchery on the way. He's going to be getting that before his gas and pool, so that he will be getting that soon so he can get some map control. He is scouting around with his drone scout, going to be checking all of these locations, and we'll soon pop in here and see that the wall is down. No, looks like the wall comes up just in time. The Marine is being rallied to the front. That drone will be able to do some damage against that supply depot, but not that much to do here. VilePsy is getting up his spawning pool now. A couple more drones spawning. Should be getting the gas in the near future, possibly saving for both queens at both the natural and the main expansion. We do have the drone now retreating across the map. Still no gas from Redground, so it really does look like he will be going for that fast expansion. Should be getting that command center right here in just a second. He has enough for it already. Possibly just going to throw it down at the natural expansion. There comes the command center coming up for Redground. He has his SCV in here checking everything out. Does see the queen on the way now from VilePsy. There is the extractor, first extractor coming up for Psy right now. He's also getting a spine crawler up at the front. He doesn't know that there's actually an expansion on the way, so he's going to be throwing that spine crawler up just in case. Another barracks is coming up, and a third barracks will be soon on the way. Now grabbing the gas, should be grabbing the gas soon, so that he can produce some more tech-ish units. We have a couple of Zerglings now chasing that SCV back, and it will be able to escape safely, unless speed finishes. No, it looks like speed is not quite on the way yet. Looks like we're going to start spreading the creep here. Psy throwing down his first creep tumor. A couple of Marines coming out here, going to try to pick off a couple of Zerglings, and they do pick off two. The first two barracks are now complete, and they also denied scouting from our Zerg player, preventing him from seeing that there is a natural expansion up. Zerglings coming forth again, going to run into those Marines, and Redground actually microing those pretty well, spreading them out and killing off two Zerglings before the Zerglings began to run away. We have the Roach Warren now on the way for VilePsy. He's also got Metabolic Boost on the way. The Marines now retreating back to base. A couple more Marines spawning out here. Still no tech. He's only got one gas mining. A bunch of SCVs now transferring over to the natural expansion. It's 28 drones to the 23 SCVs. Psy is droning up as hard as he can. Two more drones coming out right now. Should be getting a couple more on that production tab. Marines getting queued up over here. Going to be popping out. And more Zerglings going to be scooting out across the map. Going to be checking out everything that's going on. Speed is almost finished. About 80% done. Roach Warren is done as well. Evo Chamber coming up. We'll see if Psy decides to take a very fast third base. in the near future. Looks like no, he's going to be going for some gas now. The Marines advancing across the map, going to secure the the watchtowers over here, the Zelnaga towers. Looks like a Zergling will be able to face off against the Marine. The Marine does win. A couple more Marines going to be advancing over here. They are on creep now, but there's not much in terms of defense over here, except for that one spine crawler. However, spine crawlers are quite good against Marines, so RedGround will not be able to push in there, especially with the roaches spawning right now. A couple of roaches going to be popping out, and a couple more Zerglings. It looks like the lair is on the way. Our Terran player is getting up a factory, and he's also getting his stim pack research right now. Still not grabbing the gas at the natural expansion. He's got the 2 in the main, and looks like we've got a couple of roaches chasing away a couple of those Marines. Sai content to hang back on these 2 bases for the moment. He's got another extractor coming up. Both players pretty even in terms of food count. The Marines retreating all the way back to home. There is a bunker up and ready for the defense in case the roaches decide to come knocking on the front door. The Marines are going to load up in there and then unload to the other side. 2 refineries coming up over here. The gas getting taken at the natural expansion. Looks like we may have a drone picking up the 3rd base over here in just a second, but there will be a Marine here to shoot away at that drone. Looks like it will grab the gas to prevent itself from getting killed. The roach is going to be backing off here. Looks like a reactor is on the way, as well as additional Marines throwing up. Another command center inside the main starport is on the way, and there's a reactor ready to switch over to get some medevacs out onto the field. Roach is going to be parking themselves up front. Marine does get taken out by those 2 Zerglings, and the 3rd expansion is now underway for VilePsy. Vomit's going down for Sai. He's going to be getting some additional larvae. Looks like the roaches are doing a full pullback all the way back to home. The lair is complete, and he's getting his spire up now, so going for that Mutalisks. For those Mutalisks, possibly getting some Banelings out onto the field as well to deal with those Marines. And RedGround over here getting another factory up. He's getting a tech lab on that first factory now to be able to get some sea shanks out onto the field. The medevacs are now popping out 2 at a time, and we'll see if he decides to push. He's landing his 3rd base right in the faces of that Zergling and those roaches, and we'll see what side decides to do against that. We've got a planetary fortress now on the way. The roaches are going to get a couple of free shots, but the Marines do sim up, and they're going to run over here and clean up these roaches very easily. The roaches are trying to retreat here, but they're just too slow. The roaches turn around to fight. The medevacs healing up this army. The Marines also clearing the tower, getting some vision for the Terran army. Looks like this is going to be a push. The Marines going to be advancing all the way over here. 30 Zerglings on the way at a time. Banelings also coming out. Scan going down, going to pick off a couple of creep tumors, and the drones here transferring and running away. They're trying to get away from those Marines. If they stimmed up, they'd kill off a ton of drones. Those Marines are going to come over here and clean up that 3rd base. Tons of Zerglings out on the field right now. Baneling's nest is not quite done yet. Looks like the 3rd base will be going down for Sai, and the Marines cleaning up those Zergling wannabes. We have the planetary fortress up, missile turrets coming up, and the Mutalisks will soon be out on the field, but it looks like those missile turrets will be ready as soon as the Mutalisks pop out. It looks like we have a 3rd base coming up over here. The Marines are have cleaned up this expansion, but Sai has not responded yet. He's still making Banelings, getting more Zerglings out onto the field. Looks like he's going to come over here and clean up those Marines. The Zergling is going to be popping out onto the field. We've got the Marines now going to be checking this expansion. It's not quite done yet, but it will force a cancel on everything that's over here and kill off a ton of drones. All of those drones going down. 12 workers killed for RedGround and none for Sai. Both players, actually, RedGround is ahead by 30 food, and that's a pretty big deal, especially in a Zerg who does not have his 3rd base or his 4th. We've got the Marines being elevated out of here, gonna make sure they can get away. The Mutalisks trying to get in here, but it looks like the Marines will be stuck up here for some time because they cannot lift out of here. Possibly clean up this one Overlord. And the Mutalisks going to be coming over here, going to run into a lot of opposition. We've got tons of Marines. Still no gas over here, going to be throwing up some additional turrets for that 3rd base. Sai looks like he's going to be mounting some aggression over here. The Zerglings are going to be advancing towards the natural expansion of Redground, but there's plenty of Sea Shanks here. Those Zerglings will easily get destroyed. Tons of Banelings on the way. The Medivacs and the Marines over here trapped, trying to get out of here, destroying the rocks. And we've got missile turrets going to be guarding the production facilities as well. Looks like one Marine coming out of there, going to be checking everything that's going on. Looks like one Mutalisk did go down over there. Redground is still defending here with a lot of Marines, and his Sea Shanks going to be sieging up once again. Planetary Fortress actually does hold quite well against Zerglings, even if they are in this amount. So Sai is not choosing to engage in that position, especially because there are now Marines reinforcing that area. Looks like the Banelings here at the ready. Do they have speed? Looks like they do have speed. They're going to be rolling forth. They do not get any hits off on those Marines. Looks like the Zerglings and the Banelings going to be rolling into the natural expansion here. The Marines behind the tanks. This is a pretty safe, entrenched position for our Terran player. And the Banelings just smash into a bunch of Sea Shanks. GG from Sai. He was unable to get up his third expansion quickly enough. Nothing mining over here, and his bust did not work. Redground takes the game against VilePsy. This is Aegis. I'm signing off. Please do subscribe if you do like what you see here.